Welcome, ChesCo Gridiron Insiders family and friends. Welcome to our final episode of the season. We have a great show planned for your viewing pleasure. Some of it was slightly interrupted by the AWS fiasco, but I digress. We have highlights from all 8-week games. Pete interviews Downingtown West seniors TJ Sinkus and Cole Bricker, and I interview John Moran from Downingtown East about their huge game on Friday night. We will hopefully hear from Coach Means and Coach Coffey and see how Oxford's trip to Kennett affects both of their squads in the Southern Division race. Special guest Kyle Berger gives us his exclusive predictions of PIAA District 1 playoff seedings. And finally, what you've all been waiting for, dun dun dun, our final predictions of the Week 9 games. Pull up a seat, grab some popcorn, and don't change that YouTube channel. The ChesCo Gridiron Insiders are coming right at you. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsors at Studio One.
Highlights of this week's games are brought to you by Studio One, the home of ChesCo Gridiron Insiders for our inaugural season. Studio One also houses Sports Vault. Sports Vault is your premium provider of sports-related autographed and non-autographed merchandise. Sports Vault is the leader in licensed sports memorabilia, novelties, trading cards, and custom framing. Sports Vault is located at 520 East Lancaster Avenue in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. We are always looking to add sponsorship and join our family here at ChesCo Gridiron Insiders. This week, we are adding a Player of the Week segment, and pretty soon we may add an Upset of the Week that you can sponsor. Just send an email to and we can set you up with the sponsorship package of your choice.
Hey fans, we begin our highlight show on Warren Avenue for homecoming day at Malvern Prep. Malvern Prep is hosting the Haverford School. We're going to begin the action with the second half kickoff. Malvern is clinging to a 14-11 lead over the Fords at this point. Malvern kicker Ian Gopez pooches his kick perfectly, and senior Trey Gibson beats the Haverford School up back to the ball. Big momentum shift here.
How about coming out and doing that right out of halftime?
On the very next play, Jackson Melconian finds tight end Dylan Novak on this jet steamer for 30 yards, and the Friars take a 21-11 lead to start the third quarter. Okay, this is later in the third period. About 4 minutes later, you're going to see Penn State University recruit Jackson Ford strip Haverford School quarterback Zach Faragalli. Ford chases the fumble down at the 28-yard line and races into the end zone. Friars would go on the route to Ford's 48-11. What a 4-minute swing, Coach.
Yeah, coming out and that's fireworks. Give all the credit to Malvern Prep's defense and Joe Carr.
Next week, the Friars travel to play undefeated Episcopal Academy. Let's check in on the defending District 1 champion, Downingtown West Whippets, as they travel to Coatesville. On the Whippets' first drive, you're going to see Amari Cannon takes this well-executed counter tray 36 yards, and the Whippets strike first to make it a 7-0 game.
Nice cut there.
Next Whippet drive, quarterback Cole Bricker finds Brandon Kimball good on this 35-yard out and up. Not sure how he doesn't score here on this one.
I think he's in. If you just watch the play again, I don't think he hits the ground.
Looked like he was in, yeah. It was a bad call there, I think.
Well,
Whippets are going to punch it in on the next play, and it's 14-0 Downingtown West. Second period action, Bricker's going to find J.D. Weller on this nice crossing pattern. Weller goes 36 yards virtually untouched, 20-0 Downingtown West.
And it's 2024 all over again.
Still in the second period, another 36-yard play, and Bricker connects with J.D. Weller again on this bootleg. Nice play. West goes on and beats Coatesville 33-0. Traveling up to Reading as the Oxford Hornets get on the turnpike and head to Reading. Oxford's first drive turns into the Joel McLean show as he carries 7 straight times on his drive for 70 yards. The last carry is his 3-yard score out of the Wildcat formation, 7-0 Oxford.
7-0 Joel McLean.
Yeah. After an Oxford safety, Oxford takes to the air, and Nolan Neske finds his favorite receiver, Jake Patterson, going across the field for 47 yards, and Oxford takes a 16-0 first period lead on the Knights.
Neske's been throwing the ball well as of the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Really coming on as a sophomore, yep. Oxford's leading 30-6 in the second period. Joel McLean takes this wing counter 47 yards untouched, and the route is on as Oxford goes up 37-6 at this point. He's a special back, Coach.
He really is. One of the better backs we have in District 1 play.
End of the second period, Brady Turk is going to take a jet handoff around the corner where Oxford has more heads, and he is off to the races.
Yeah, watch how many blockers they have here.
Oh, yeah, he's got 4 guys in front of him.
Yeah. McLean has no one to block.
He's off to the races, and Oxford wins 44-12. They will travel to Kennett next week to try to win the Southern Division Chesmont Division Championship. Okay, Sun Valley travels to Unionville on senior night for Unionville. Early on, it was the Brody McLaughlin show. He already scored once. Now in the Wildcat, powers his way in, and it's 14-0 Unionville. Up 14-0 in the second period, McLaughlin takes this carry 47 yards and just bullies his way into the end zone at the end of the play. Watch this.
He's going to carry this one kid.
Yeah, he
Get out of my way.
Yeah. 20-0. With 9 minutes left in the second period, it's time to let Tommy McGinnis and Drew Paleo get in on the action. McGinnis is going to hit Paleo right down the seam for a 26-yard strike, and Unionville goes in on to roll Sun Valley 42-21. Unionville will host Conrad Weiser next week in search of their 6th win. Okay, we head to Oscar J. Dick Stadium for the Central Division showdown between Great Valley and Henderson. Great Valley is going to draw first blood on this 3rd and 8 when Ty Callahan hits our first ever Spotlight Player of the Week, Luke Helmy, for the score. Great Valley goes up.
Everybody runs this play down at the goal line, Pete, so you should get used to seeing that. Just a little arrow pattern with a pick.
Great Valley takes a 14-7 lead into the half, but Henderson takes the second half kickoff right down the field. Quarterback Jackson Cherub is going to find junior Ryan Terse in the back of the end zone, and the Warriors tie the score early in the 3rd period. Terse has really filled in for Chase Kearney well.
Yep. Good job of finding the hole in the Great Valley zone there.
Late 3rd quarter, Great Valley attempting this 26-yard field goal to go up 9 points. You're going to see number 55, Jake Garcia, block the kick to keep it a 1-score game. Big play for the Warriors.
Huge play. I mean, they kicked that field goal, and now you're up 2 scores.
7 minutes to go in the 4th. Henderson driving. Cherub turns and hands it to Nathaniel Garcia on this wing counter for 16 yards all the way down to the Patriot 6-yard line. There's a new running back for the Warriors.
Yeah, he was filling in at the time.
2 plays later, Garcia punches the go-ahead score in, and Henderson takes a 21-20 lead over the Patriots.
Garcia is also the brother of the defensive end that blocked the field goal. So the Garcias had a lot to celebrate Friday night.
Yes, they did. Patriots had the ball at midfield. Callahan drops back, feels some pressure, and safety Ryan Terse steps in front of Luke Helmy, and the Warriors go on to win this one 28-20 over Great Valley. Good football game.
Yep, great win for the Henderson. Disappointing loss for the Patriots.
Okay, we're at Kottmeyer. We go to Kottmeyer Stadium for the Cougars versus Bishop Shanahan. Shanahan opens the game with surprise onside kick and recovery. They would get down to the 3-yard line, but the East defense would hold.
It's onside kick week, Pete.
Yeah, it's special teams again playing big roles in these games. On the ensuing possession, Jules Chiron Robinson would open the scoring with his 84-yard dash. Great cut as you see as he goes through the line, cuts right, 7-0 Cougars.
Coach Wolf predicted last week that he would have a big game.
218 on the ground for Chiron Robinson. Downingtown East would take a 21-7 lead into halftime. On the first play of the 3rd period, Shanahan quarterback Anthony Aquila is going to go 63 yards to pull the Eagles within 7. I think it's safe to say Aquila is the best player in Chester County this year, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely as good as he is as a quarterback, I'm just as impressed as he is as a safety as well.
Yeah,
and he just does it all for Shanahan.
Yeah. We're going to see Cougar quarterback Ethan Ellis finds his big tight end Abe Cisse, who makes another high point catch on the corner route to set up an Alex Reyes touchdown, and East goes up 28-14. Great catch here by Cisse.
Yeah, they lost him for a second there, unfortunately for Bishop Shanahan.
And one player we don't talk enough about for the Cougars is fullback linebacker John Morin. Watch him here as he rumbles 38 yards, breaking tackles to set up the Cougars in Shanahan territory. Tough kid, John Morin.
You'll hear from him later on today as he is one of the spotlight players of the week for the Cougars as they get set to take on Downingtown West for the league title.
We're going to see John Morin again here. It might be the play of the game. 4th and 4. Ellis hits Morin in the flat. He's going to break 2 tackles, almost loses the ball, but stays in bounds and gets into the end zone for a 26-yard touchdown. 35-14 East. Look at this. He almost loses the ball here. Gets it back, knocks another kid over, and he scores.
You sure he lost it? It looked like he wanted to dribble it.
Shanahan would come back to make it close, though. Here, Aquila connects with his favorite receiver, Aiden Civitella, for 44 yards. Great catch by Civitella here.
These two have been doing it together for a long time.
Yeah. Shanahan would score twice more to make the final, 35-26 Cougars. Okay, we traveled down Paoli Pike to Zimmerman Stadium for one of our games of the week. Bragging rights in Westchester and for the Central Division title on the line. Middle of the first period, and Will Garner is going to take the fullback toss 50 yards to the Westchester East 8-yard line. Will Garner closing in on 1,000 yards rushing this year.
That's something else.
For a fullback, yeah.
You're going to see this is going to be a common thread throughout the evening. It looked like Ruston found something against the Vikings. They kept attacking outside.
Yeah. You see them attacking the edge here as Colin Baldessari takes this jet sweep 5 yards as Will Garner and Jimmy Boland seal the edge here. Ruston up 7-0.
Watch these 2 blocks right here.
Beautiful block.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah, after this, unfortunately for the Vikings, the quarter goes from bad to worse as Chase Zelos is stripped on this bubble pass, and Kane Baldessari scoops it up and scampers 37 yards to pay dirt. Ruston takes an early 13-0 lead. Yeah, this is a big play here. $13-0 Golden Knights. The Vikings try to mount a late first period drive, but the Ruston front seven pestered and harassed spotlight player of the week, Nolan Cummings, all night long. Yeah, they shut Cummings down here with their pass rush, didn't they, Coach?
Yeah, the front four, we talked about it as we led up to the predictions of the game. It just felt like they were going to be stronger. And they were. They just really made night difficult for Cummings.
End of the first period, and Ruston uses another toss to the outside, and Jimmy Boland takes it down to the Viking 11-yard line.
Just looks like the Vikings have one too many players on the opposite end here. They do a great job of sealing the edge there with Garner.
Yeah. But on the first play of the second period, Will Garner takes this belly lead 11 yards, and Ruston goes on to pound Westchester East. Very impressive 38-0 win for the Golden Knights.
That's just straight out belly lead.
Garner's a tough kid.
Yep. I'm happy for him after what happened to him last year.
Yeah, missing the whole season. Yeah. Okay, now Kennett at Avengrove. The Kennett defense is going to make the first big play of the game. You're going to see here Andrew Sharpetta forcing the fumble, and Kennett recovers.
Nice play.
Nice play there, yeah. The Red Devils would force a Kennett punt, and running back Jose Sebastro breaks away for a 35-yard run here on first down. He's come on the last 4 weeks, Coach. They're doing some different things.
Really hard, yeah. This Avengrove offense plays like this in the beginning of the year. I mean, they're ready to get into playoff contention here.
Avengrove would score first as Sebastro takes the direct snap and fights his way into the end zone. 7-0 Red Devils. Kennett's going to take the lead in the third period here, as you're going to see quarterback Garrett McCracken finds his tight end Corey Tice for a 15-yard score, 10-7 Kennett.
Looking forward to seeing McCracken play live this weekend, as our game of the week will be Kennett versus Oxford. He's been impressive, and I obviously have something for a left-handed quarterback as well.
Play of the game here. This is the game winner, as Sebastian is going to go 63 yards for the game winner, as Avongrove upsets Kennett 14-10. Avongrove very hot at the end of the season, Coach.
Yeah, one of the hottest teams in the 5A. It's just a shame they were 6A. My fault. All right, coming up, we'll have interviews with Coach Mike Means, Coach Coffey, and some Downingtown East and Downingtown West players will be our Spotlight Player of the Week.
Hey, fans, we're with TJ Sinkus and Cole Bricker from Downingtown West, quarterback and tight end. How are you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Got a big one coming up with Downingtown East. I wanted to talk to you about the game. Is there a difference? Like, can you feel it in the school, in the hallways, and in practice, or is it just another big game? I'll go to TJ first. Cole, I'll go to you now since we're having technical difficulties. Is it different? I mean, we know it's a big game, but you guys have been in a lot of big games.
Yeah, I feel like the energy around this game is definitely different. Playing in it last year, like the atmosphere is just different. Like with all those people there, I mean, the stands are absolutely packed. There's people walking around everywhere. I feel like the energy is definitely different. And I feel like it is a big game, but like it's the biggest game I think we play all year.
Okay. And you've beaten them the last 2 years, so they're pretty hungry. But wanted to ask you, being the defending District 1 6A champs, did you feel that like a little bit of a heavy burden on you guys, like where you had to like live up to that, or is this just a whole different year?
I feel like this is a whole different year. Coach Klein really emphasized that like we're not the District 1 6A champions. Like that was last year's team, and we're a completely different team. So, I mean, we know like we obviously acknowledge that we won it. We appreciated that. We're proud of it, but we moved on to this season.
Okay, let me try to see if we can get TJ. TJ, what do you feel about that?
I agree with Cole. I mean, yeah, it was nice to win. Like, we soaked it all in the off-season. But right now, I think we're more focused on ahead of us and getting another one of those championships.
Okay, I want to ask both you guys. We can get Cole to go first here. You won every close game last year. This year, you lose a close one to Perk Valley. But it seems like you beat Coastal 33-0. I mean, that's very impressive, even though they didn't have their quarterback. But still, to lay 33 on Coastal is an impressive feat. You feel like you guys are starting to round into form now. You had a nice win against Great Valley. Do you feel like maybe you shook off a little of that early season blues a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We had definitely had some kinks we had to work out. Offense in particular, we weren't very efficient. But I feel like the past 3 or 4 games we've really locked it in, and I feel like we're heading in the right direction. I feel very confident where we're at.
Okay, how about you, TJ?
I agree. I think that since our last loss against Perk, that was obviously a tough game that I felt that we lost. I feel like every single week we're getting better, where teams getting to know each other, like we're seeing how each people play, how coaches need to coach, and I think we just keep getting better, and I think that it leads us perfectly into the playoffs.
Okay. I want to ask you about East. What big problem do they present to you defensively, Cole?
I mean, yeah, they're all tough kids. They hit hard. They got a tough front seven, always good at defending the run. So I feel like we just got to play to our strengths, and we'll watch film this week. We'll game plan all week and figure out a plan, put a plan in place to beat them.
Okay. How about you, TJ? What do you feel you have to do up on the line against East?
For offense or defense?
Offense.
Offense. I mean, definitely I think we just need to have some heart on the offensive line. I mean, it's going to be a tough game. It's just going to be banging heads the whole entire game. I think we just need to come out on top every time you hit somebody.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, Cole, anything new on the college front? About where you're going?
Right now, not really. I haven't been focus too much on that. I've been focusing these past couple of weeks, and we'll see how that happens after the season.
Okay. TJ, congratulations on the West Point.
Thank you very much.
What was it about the Service Academy that made you want to do something like that? I think it's fantastic.
I mean, I went up there for a junior day, not expecting much, right? And they shoot me an offer, and I was just like, I took the tour of everything, and I heard like their whole academic process. And I was like, there's nothing about this school that makes me not want to go there. I mean, it was just all beneficial.
Great.
So, yeah.
Great. Well, guys, thanks for giving us a couple minutes, and good luck against East and in the playoffs. Make another deep run, okay, guys? Thank you.
All right. Look, today we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I know we had TJ Sinkus and Cole Bricker on earlier, and now from Downingtown East, we'll have John Marin. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We got him on after practice. Downingtown East getting an early start this morning, so it's great to see. So, John, just I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you first about the rivalry. Right, you played in this game for 2 years now. This will be your third game coming up. What can we expect? What do you look forward to?
I think it will be a really physical game. I think both rosters returned a bunch of players from last year, so it should be a really tough game. We're just trying to keep the main thing with Downtown East.
Understand, yeah. Playing for not only a league title, but as we will have on Kyle Berger later, I think basically the winner of this game, and I'm not positive of this, but he might tell us later, could get that 3 seed. Noticed, watching film that you're starting to get some more offensive snaps. Are we going to see more of that this week and then into the playoffs as well?
More offensive, you said?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no. I'd say my workload's probably going to stay around the same.
But I mean, you're definitely going to play out. Like I like that little trick that you had where you caught the ball and then bounced it to yourself and then ran into the end zone. I said you were playing a little bit of basketball there.
Yeah, that was on purpose right there.
That's what I figured. A lot of skill. No, we're happy to see you contributing on both sides of the ball, and figured that was just something. From coaching against Coach Matta in years past, I noticed he likes to pull out some little tricks as you get later into the year. We figured this was one of them for sure. Lost the last 2 years in this game. Do you feel like that puts any more pressure on you guys going into this game? Obviously, this is going to be for the league crown, bragging rights, and as I noticed before or mentioned before, a possible seeding.
Not at all, honestly. We've been preparing for this game. It's what we've been looking forward to, and the pressure is not really a factor for us, I don't think.
All right, I'll let you know a little secret that we will talk about actually later on in the show in the predictions. We brought it up before, and I don't know if you're aware of it. Maybe you are. The away team has won the last 6 contests, and you guys happen to be the away team this year.
Yeah, I've heard it. Obviously, I don't believe that at all. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay. I'm sure, yeah. Rather be home, you get the longer stands and more people there, but I mean it's going to be sold out regardless. All right, one last congrats on Carnegie Mellon. You're going to go there and study business. Basically, it's a great school. What can you tell us about Carnegie Mellon?
Yeah, it's just the coaches and the program. It's really focused on developing the players from within. It's a great school. It's up in Pittsburgh. That's where my sister goes. So it's just a really good spot.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks. We really appreciate you having us on or being on with us. And good luck on Friday night. Should be a heck of a game. And good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, John. All right. After we really are blessed today after the AWS problems from yesterday. Getting head coach of Oxford, Mike Means, and head coach of Avon Grove, Joe Coffey, to join us and discuss the big game, the partial game of the week between Oxford and Kennett. Welcome, guys. Mike, a lot of excitement around the program and at practice right now, playing for the Southern Division Championship and the possibility of the home playoff game. Do you and the kids kind of feel it, the vibe?
Yeah, for sure. The community sport here is always really good, but this is a different level within the school. The kids are excited. Obviously, my players are excited. You definitely feel it in the community.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I can't only imagine. I used to love, being in a situation where it's the last game of the year and you're playing for a championship. Joe, you guys are playing your best football of the year. I'm sure you and the kids, it's almost like, hey, I don't want the season to end right now, right? We're ready to play 4 or 5 more games. You guys have a big one against Sun Valley on Friday night. Kind of take us through the scenario that you play, in the role. Like, hey, you get a win and what happens? Like, set it up for our audience if you could.
Sure. I'll do that for you, EJ. So we need to we're focused on Sun Valley. We have to get a win. And then I'd root for Mike Means 9 out of 10 weeks, I guess, in Oxford. But, in the back of my head, I guess it's 8 out of 10 right now. But I know they're going to be ready and prepared to play Kennett and beat Kennett. And I do wish him well. But, the scenario is if Oxford wins, they can control exactly, what they can control, and they win, and they have the Southern Division. And if Kennett were to win and we take care of business, then Avon Grove would win the division with tiebreaker with Kennett. But I know Coach Means will have them prepared, and they should be juiced up for a big game Friday night.
Well, you have one thing going for you. You have the Black Cat is going to be with Coach Means on Friday night as I'm going to head down to the game. And unfortunately, we're 0-1 when I go to Coach Means' games. But, I can't miss this game. For me, I think it's a big game, not only for, the whole Southern Division, but for us, ChesCo Gridiron Insiders. So it's a game that definitely needs to be covered, and I'll do the best that I possibly can. Mike, what problems does Kennett pose for you and your coaching staff as you guys were preparing over the weekend for them? You've probably seen every game they've played. What are their strengths?
So Coach Frazier, I think, does, and his staff do among the best jobs in the league of, number one, getting the most out of the kids that he has on the roster every single year. Like, his kids just play hard. They're unbelievably scrappy, and they run to the football, they tackle, and they play hard. And that's an every year Kennett thing under his staff. And I think they do a great job in the week-to-week preparation and the week-to-week scouting report and changing little things and tweaking things. But the biggest problem is their skill guys. I mean, they have a lot of guys that can be game breakers at any time that we're going to have to figure out how to handle. And he does a good job of mixing formations, putting them in different spots all the time. So there's just a lot to prepare for offensively. Defensively, they're playing 7-8 guys on their defensive line now and have a pretty steady rotation, and their kids fly to the football. They fly to the football. The secondary is really fast, and we're going to have our hands full. I mean, Kennett always really, really well coached. Him and his staff do a fantastic job of the ins and outs of the week to week and the scouting, and they're going to be a handful for us.
Coach Coffey, you've played both teams now. So can you give us and the audience an inside look at what you expect to go down at Kennett on Friday night? Like, what, the ins and outs of both teams, preparing for both. What do you think?
Yeah. But, I mean, I would expect to see, if I was you, EJ, I'd expect to see Oxford run the ball, very physical up front, and able to handle the multiple fronts that I assume they'll see multiple fronts from Kennett. We saw them on Friday night. And I mean, if I was Coach Means, I'd control that clock again. Like, whether they break one or not, they're super physical up front. They have a game breaker in the backfield will complain that he has to be accounted for. But, limiting Kennett's possessions and taking care of the ball on offense, that's what I expect from them. And on the flip side, with Kennett, you got one of the best passers and a fellow lefty. I love watching these lefties in McCracken. So, and they have skilled guys that can catch the ball, can get downfield. So I expect Kennett to want to throw the football as well, but they're going to have to establish a running game at some point to stay in this.
Can you share some insight? This is a question that just popped in my head. Obviously, I didn't have it written down, but what did you guys do to hold McCracken? McCracken, I think, only threw for 83 yards. Is that correct on Friday night? That's an outstanding job by your defense. What were you? Did you guys do anything special to get ready for him, coverage wise, or do anything up front that really confused them?
Not covered, nothing special. We stuck to our base defense, but what we were able to do is establish winning the line of scrimmage defensively as well. And it freed up the linebackers we have. The secondary played excellent in coverage, but we established the line of scrimmage with that front seven and got some pressure on them early that kind of disrupted a lot of things.
And I'm sure you saw that, Coach Means, in film.
Yeah, they did a really, really good job of keeping guys in front the entire game and rallying and tackling and controlling, like Coach said, controlling the line of scrimmage, which if you're going to play Kennett, you have to do. If this kid has time, people are going to get open. There's speed all over the field, and he's super accurate with the ball, and he gets the ball out fast a lot. So we have to control the line of scrimmage. It's kind of a must for us to have a chance to stay in the game.
Gotcha. All right, one last question. I know the one Coach Coffey's been dreading. Friday night, you're not going to be at Kennett. You'll be playing. You're going to Sun Valley, correct?
Correct.
All right. So as Nate would say, my partner, not a great trip. But how do you? It's the elephant in the room. How do you keep everybody 100% focused on Sun Valley? Obviously, you have to win. But, there's going to be people that surround the program, surround you, looking at social media or following it, hopefully following ChesCo Gridiron Insiders. And, I'll need somebody to give me up-to-date status as we can follow. But, how do you keep everybody just focused on the task at hand? Even at Coatesville, I'll admit, when the downtown games were being played and we were playing and winning, I remember live streaming stuff, while we were sitting in the booth, and, going from there. So, what's your message to everyone? And then in the back of your mind, hey, how can I keep these guys focused?
Well, we can't control what's going on down at Kennett. So I'd like to, I'm going to control what I can control. And our message Monday was we're just worried about Sun Valley. And I hear what you're saying, and I'm sure I won't be able to go without updates throughout the whole game. But
I was planning on giving you a call.
Yeah, well, you won't get me because my phone will be hopefully locked somewhere in Sun Valley, or at least locked, or I'll give it to my son on the sideline. But I don't. You won't be able to give me a call, so might have to get some other numbers. And don't tell me whose those are, because I don't want to hear anybody worrying about what's going on somewhere where we're not. I know it. I mean, I'm sure it'll happen. It won't be obviously it won't be the kids, but I don't need to know. I wish. I hope it's a great game. Kennett and Oxford, I'm sure it will be, but that's out of our hands. That's your coach speak, but I'm not going to have my phone. It's not something I can control. I'm going to focus on the kids, and the kids are going to focus on Sun Valley.
Sounds good. Guys, thanks for joining us. Good luck. And now we'll get to the guru of all predictions, and Mike will try and get you some answers as to where you're going to be next Friday night. Hopefully it's home.
Thank you. Appreciate it, EJ. Thanks for having us on.
You got it. Take care, guys. Good seeing you again.
Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. Red 83. Rocky, Rocky.
Okay, I'd like to thank the 3 interviews we had. TJ Sinkus and Cole Bricker from Downingtown West and fullback linebacker John Marr from Downingtown East. We had some good stuff from those guys.
Yeah, now we are privileged to have, again, Division I football guru and North Penn athletic director Kyle Berger on to help guide us through the playoff scenarios that are coming up for District 1. Good afternoon, Kyle.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. So let's start. I figured it'd be a good idea to start at 4A since 2 weeks ago we started with the 6A. We have Bishop Shanahan in the 4A field. What's it look like for them, I guess, in regards to win or loss come Friday night?
It looks like regardless of what happens on Friday, and remember Pope John Paul is going to be playing O.J. Roberts in that pack crossover game. Regardless of wins or losses from either of those two teams, PJP has the inside track to number 1, and Shanahan's going to be number 2. And then it's just a matter of will they play Springfield Township? Will they play Interboro? Will they play Lower Moreland? All depends on the results that come about this weekend.
One quick question, because as I look at this, I'm like, wait, Lower Moreland's 5-4 and Interboro's 2-7. But look how that is. Is Lower Moreland playing teams that only put 7 guys on the field? How does that work?
So Interboro, by virtue of their schedule, has a couple of wins over some teams with bigger classifications than them. And they also, they played a murderer's row schedule. They played Strathaven. They played Ruston. They played Wissahickon. They played Bristol. They played Chester. These are all teams that are going to end the regular season with 8 or 9 wins. So, that's a remarkably tough schedule for Interboro, and maybe a lesson for some coaches or ADs as far as how to schedule.
Yeah,
because you might have a team that's 2-8 make the field. Now it's only 4 out of 6 teams, but still, that's enough to get them in.
Yeah. Executive of the Year, Interboro's AD there, or football coach. All right, let's move on to 5A. That's our meat and potatoes here for the show. We have Ruston at they're in the 3 slot, and they have Westchester Henderson coming up. So I guess first of all, let's 1 and 2. Kyle, any chance they can be outseeded?
Yeah, Springfield and Chester are kind of in a tier of their own right now. There's some crazy scenario in which Chester could outpoint Springfield, but I don't think that's going to happen. Chester is idle this week. Springfield has a pretty tough game against Strathaven, I believe. So we'll see how that plays out. But those teams are going to be 1 and 2. I think Westchester, Ruston, and Sealing is the number 3 seed.
Okay. So then Ruston plays Henderson. We know if Henderson were to beat them, what does that do to Ruston?
I think Ruston would probably drop to maybe a 5 or a 6, but they'd still have a first-round home game, no doubt.
Okay, and then if Strathaven were to beat Springfield Delco, would Strathaven possibly jump Ruston?
That will come down to the opponent's records and those bonus points you get from there. They'll be within 1 or 2 points of each other in either direction, so both teams will have to do a little bit of scoreboard watching this weekend.
Gotcha. All right. Westchester East. They are at the 5 seed right now. They play Great Valley this weekend. Westchester East wins and pretty much stay where they are.
Yeah, I have them projected as a 5 seed. I mentioned that Springfield and Chester were kind of in that top tier. Ruston and Strathaven are in that 3-4 tier. And then 5 through about 7 or 8 is kind of its own tier. And right now I have Westchester East at the top of that. There's potential they fall into a tie with Kennett. So we get into tiebreaker scenarios with those guys. But it looks like a 5 or a 6 seed is pretty probable for Westchester East.
Kennett's at 8. They have a huge game this weekend. They host Oxford. and a lot of Southern Division title implications all over that one. So if Kennett were to beat Oxford, where do you see them?
I've got Kennett either at 5 or 6 with a win over Oxford, and Oxford dropping down to an 11. So it's like this game is very strange. And again, seeds are all going to be relative on opponents' records and things like that. But there's a potential that this game is going to be played again in the first week of the playoffs, whether it's a 6 versus 11 game or if Oxford were to beat Kennett, it could be the 8-9 game.
Wow. Okay. Well, we got to get Henderson first. Okay. You're trying to get me in trouble with Coach Price. I don't like that. All right. We got Henderson at 12. They play Ruston. So if they were to beat Ruston, that would give them a lot of points, right?
Yeah, 100% in if Henderson were to beat Ruston. I think they're in regardless, win or lose at this point. The wild card in 5A right now is the status of Cheltenham's football program. If you didn't know, prior to last Friday's game against Truman, the superintendent at Cheltenham kind of indefinitely suspended the football program. So Cheltenham currently sits in the playoffs, but if their season is canceled, they obviously get taken out of the picture. Everybody slides up a notch or two, and Henderson would slide to potentially a 14 seed should they lose this Friday.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's go. 13, Unionville. So Unionville has a weird scheduling thing. They're out of conference. They play Conrad Weiser on this last week of the season. What do you see win-loss there?
So if Unionville trips up, they're going to drop probably to that 16 seed if Cheltenham is no longer in the picture. So this is a huge game for Unionville. And in fact, there's a possibility they could be tied for the 16 seed. So if you're a Unionville fan, you're rooting obviously for a win this week. But if you don't win, you are rooting heavily for Souderton to beat Upper Dublin in their Week 10 matchup. It's going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah.
I would maybe favor Souderton in that game if I was picking. But if Upper Dublin upsets Souderton and Unionville loses, they could be on the outside looking in.
That's great. That really gives us a good picture for the 5A. We'll move on to the 6A. And then we have some teams at the top. So Penridge and North Penn right now sit 1-2. Any chance that either one of them could move out of there, or are they kind of locked in?
With wins, they are locked in. North Penn cannot catch Penridge, and nobody beneath North Penn can catch them. So those are going to be your 1 and 2 seeds, assuming wins on Friday. I think North Penn's matchup is a little more of a heavily favored win versus Penridge, who plays CB South, who's coming on late here in the season. So we'll see what happens with that matchup.
Okay. Downingtown East. Obviously, they have a huge rivalry game coming up with Downingtown West and Northern Title Division implications all over that one. Downingtown East with a win would...
I've got them at number 3 with a win.
Wow. Okay, that's outstanding for Downingtown East. With a loss.
Let me just run that number real quick while I got you here, because I had it with Downingtown East winning as a number 3. And it looks like the winner of that game gets the number 3 seed.
Oh, okay, wow. So this is for the title and the 3 seed.
Correct.
Outstanding. Where would they? I guess let's look at Coatesville first before we project what would happen at Downingtown East if they were to lose. Coatesville at 5, they play Shanahan, which is a 4A team, as we've already discussed. Coatesville were to win that game, do they stay at 5, or just because they're playing a 4A team?
It looks like they're going to be either a 4 or a 5. Could be in a tie with Council Rock South if they win.
Okay.
but it looks like they'll be right in the neighborhood of a 4 or 5 game.
And if they were to drop the game, how far would they fall?
I've got them at 9.
So they wouldn't even be a home game. Wow.
And potentially playing the loser of the Downingtown East, Downingtown West game in the opening round.
It always happens.
Yeah, it does. Lately, the last 3 years. So, all right. If Downingtown West wins, you see them moving all the way up to 3.
Yeah.
And if they were to lose to Downingtown East, probably not too far of a fall considering where Downingtown East is, correct?
Yeah, I think it's almost just you flip-flop the 2 teams between 3 and either 8 or 9.
Okay. Wow. Still, though.
Saturday night football.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, Kyle, thanks a lot for joining us again. It's always a pleasure for us to have you on. Good luck to you and the Knights going forward. And I might as well plug you while we have. Where can we hear from you again? Are you doing any shows on Friday night or Saturday anywhere or no?
I'm disappearing into the shadows. No, I think what I'll probably wind up doing, and unfortunately there are no District 1 games, to my knowledge, scheduled on Saturday. So I should have most of this figured out by Saturday morning, with the exception of a few out of District 1 games that might have an impact on the standings. I will post on my Twitter account at BurgerKG, for those of you that are still on it. I will put up my projections. We'll have the official seed meeting Sunday morning, and the brackets become official Monday, the 27th, I guess it is, at noon.
So what you're saying then is basically we've become your exclusive show. Is that accurate?
Sure. I'll wait for the royalty check.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks a lot, Kyle. We really appreciate it.
Man.
All right, guys.
Coming up, you will hear from predictions from Coach Wolf, myself, Pete, Nate, and Coach Milano, who is currently on assignment for us. Yeah, it was great. Nate, thanks for helping get Kyle on. That was really it's always great to have him on, the couple times a year that we do to get to the seeing where everybody stacks up.
It's the guru.
Yep. All right. Now we'll move to our last prediction segment of the year. ChesCo Gridiron Insiders prediction segment is brought to you by Professional Mortgage Advisors. They are known for their experience, knowledge, and trust. They help guide us throughout all your mortgage needs and find a product that best suits you. Give them a call at 484-445-4599 and tell them the Insiders recommend you call them. All right? All right, here we go. Predictions. Let's start out with a couple on the slate. There's 3 that all of us. We are missing Coach Milano, unfortunately. He's on assignment this morning. Really digging into the Downingtown East, Downingtown West.
I drove past Downingtown West parking lot today, and I saw his car there. So
yeah, so he's
probably
hard at work.
He's game planning.
Yeah, game planning. Yes. All right, so Westchester East at Great Valley. Westchester East coming off of that loss to Ruston. I mean, wow. Ruston, you got to hand it to them. They really played well in that game, but all of us think that Westchester East is going to bounce back and be able to beat Great Valley and head into a high note going into the playoffs. Malvern at Episcopal. This could be for the Interact League title. Malvern goes into the game. What are they, 7-1 now?
6-1.
6-1. And Episcopal is 7-0 on the year. So Malvern will travel to Episcopal Academy on Friday night. And we still think, even though Episcopal's undefeated, that Malvern will get the upper hand there. Malvern's just too strong, I think, for anybody to give them anything in the Interact this year. Okay. Conrad Weiser visits Unionville. Now, last year, Conrad Weiser got the upper hand on Unionville and beat them. Surprisingly, I don't think any of us picked Conrad Weiser last year. And this year, Unionville looks to get a
they need it, right?
back.
Like Kyle
they
said.
need them to get to 6-4 and stay out of that 16 seed in the playoff, as Kyle just told us previously. So we all decided that Unionville would be the pick there. We don't know much about Conrad Weisner, but we do know that they barely beat Abington in the beginning of the year, and Abington really hasn't had a strong year. So we're going to go with Unionville and the boys there. All right, let's start out with another huge rivalry game. Westchester Henderson at Westchester Ruston. Playoff implications are, as Kyle gave us before, it looks like Ruston's locked in at 3, and Westchester Henderson is going to make it regardless. It's just if they win, that would help them out from a seeding standpoint. But this is also, if Ruston were to win, Ruston will win the Central Division of the Chessmont outright. So I'll start off. I think Ruston's just been playing some great football. Their 2 losses are to Pope John Paul and to Downingtown West, and both of those were close games. I just feel, Ruston's playing really, really well right now. They'll face Henderson with Jackson Cherub, who's, another team that throws the ball extremely well. But as we saw from Ruston, they just get tremendous pressure from their front 4. And I think that's what's going to pull it out for them again. So I'll take Ruston. Nate?
Yeah, I mean, a brilliant pick by me last week, picking the Vikings over Ruston. That obviously backfired. The way Ruston's playing football lately, it's almost that rivalry proof. Just playing a ton of defense. They haven't given up a touchdown the last 2 games. They obviously run the ball really, really well. From what I understand, Henderson's getting Kearney back, so that'll help Henderson a little bit this week. Obviously, they threw the ball really, really well, but I just think Ruston's got too much for Henderson to challenge him. So I'll go with Ruston.
That might be our insider tip of the week there, Nate. Good job, pal. I didn't have that.
There you go.
Tom?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Nate. I picked the wrong team last week. I'm not going to make that mistake twice. Ruston's a real deal.
We're chasing the points. This is what happens when we chase the points, right?
Yeah, Ruston's going to win pretty easy, I think.
Pete?
I like Ruston. I mean, they piled up 303 rushing yards on Westchester East. Henderson's not really good against the run. You got to go with Ruston here, I think.
Okay. All right. We're going to travel. Avongrove travels to Sun Valley. Avongrove with a huge win against rival Kennett last week. Sebastro had a huge night. And defensively, Avongrove played extremely well against the pass, we expected Kennett to be able to exploit that, and they did not. Coach Wolf, we'll start with you. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, Coach Milano would also take Ruston.
Avongrove's playing really well. They've turned their season around. They a couple upset wins over Unionville and Kennett, and they were right there with Oxford too. Avongrove's going the right direction. Sun Valley, we've all seen they're in the wrong direction. I think Avongrove gets the win, improves to 4-6 on the year.
Yeah, like Avongrove here, they've turned their season around, as Coach Wolf said. Sun Valley's given up over 40 points 6 times this year. Their lineup is mostly sophomores and a couple juniors. They're a young team. I like Avongrove here.
Coach Milano also takes Avongrove. Nate?
Yeah, I mean, this is an impressive season from them so far. Yeah, not a lot of expectations out of there from us, and they've obviously proved a lot of people wrong. Sebastio with a good chance to go over 1,000 yards rushing this week, and obviously they keep beating up those 5A schools, so I think they keep it rolling and get the win.
You got any stats on Mortar over the last 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah, he's he hasn't thrown a ton. Hasn't thrown for a ton of yards, but he hasn't thrown any picks either. So he hasn't thrown any picks the last 4 games. That's a big deal. Not turning the ball over and just keeping them in it. Like you said, they're close against Unionville. They're close against Oxford. Close against Kennett. These 1-score games. they're 2-1 in the last 3 weeks. So they just find ways to keep it close and win.
I'll also take Avongrove. The reason I brought the game up, we all took Avongrove, so it almost should have gone in the first part, is because if Avongrove were to win this game and beat Sun Valley and Kennett were to beat Oxford, then Avongrove would win the Northern Division title of the Chessmont. So obviously that's really, really important to mention there. And we'll be keeping a close eye on that game as our game of the week. Okay, let's move to Bishop Shanahan at Coatesville. Bishop Shanahan is playing really not, I guess technically for just kind of bragging rights because in the league, whether they win or lose, they're locked into that 2 seed in the 4A, as Kyle Berger just told us. So I guess have I gone first yet? I'll go first. Man, Coatesville, they need to win the game to stay in the, I think Kyle told us the 4-5 area, which would give them a home game. If they were to lose, they fall back into that, 8-9 game, which, hey, it's great to, play maybe 8-9. If you're 8, you get to host the game. But then the following week, you got to play number 1, and I don't think anyone really looks forward to that. So, man, yeah, it's tough for me to do this again. But I think I'm going to go with Shanahan. Coatesville hasn't scored any points the last 2 weeks without Matt Ortega Jr. I don't know if he's going to play or not play, but I suspect that he may not play. And with that being said, man, Shanahan, they just, offensively, they can put up points, right? We saw that against Downingtown East last week. So hence, therefore, I will take Bishop Shanahan on the road. Nate?
Yeah, being at Coatesville last week, just tough to watch. Seeing what they were 2 weeks ago, the number 1 offense in the league, 7-0, lose their quarterback, and they just can't get anything going. I mean, negative 10 yards. I can't imagine Coatesville's ever had a game where they finished in the negative. It's been a long time if it has, and obviously 2 straight shutouts. I went back all the way back to 2004. I couldn't find 2 straight shutouts, but for Coatesville. Just a rough time over there. Their defense is playing really, really well. Outside of a few big plays against West, which obviously they did give that up, but they played really, really well against the run. I don't think Shanahan will move the ball super well, but I think Shanahan just, they're more healthy. They're better right now. I think Anthony Aquila is on fire, 19 rushing touchdowns, 10 passing touchdowns, having a great year. I just don't think he lets them lose to Coatesville, even if Coatesville makes it a little tough.
I do think you'll see a lot of run blitzes to stop, the quarterback run game. But that could open you up and be more susceptible to the pass, against the pass as well.
Yeah,
Coach Wolf.
I think, I got to see Shanahan live for the first time last week, and I came away very impressed. They fought Downingtown East the whole way. The Aquila kid he's a player of the year. I don't think there's a question about that. And Coatesville, to their credit, their defense is still playing hard. It wouldn't surprise me if Coach Ortega put a spy on Aquila just to slow down his running game. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think it's going to be pretty low scoring, to be honest with you. If Coatesville can slow down Aquila in the run game, they have a shot. But again, Coatesville's got to score points somewhere, and I can't see that happening. So I'm going to take Shanahan in a low scoring game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Shanahan. I went back and forth a few times with this game. I don't think Coatesville's offense is going to be quite as bad this week as it was last week. I can't imagine they're going to do this, 2 in a row. They haven't scored in 2 weeks. They lost Matt Ortega Jr., and it just seems like they might be on a little bit of a down cycle right now. I'll take Shanahan.
Sure, Coatesville will wind up somehow pulling the game. But we'll see. All right. Games of the week. We have 2 of them. We'll start off Oxford at Kennett. Oh, by the way, without Coach Milano here, I can't keep it together. Coach Milano also took Shanahan. Oxford at Kennett. One of the games of the week. I will be at Kennett covering this one. Looking forward to the game. And like Coach Wolf, why don't we start with you?
Again, two teams fighting for playoff seeding, fighting for that Southern Division title. It's backyard brawl. A lot of implications. I like Oxford. I just think the McLean kid is special, and I think he's just too much for Kenneth. So I'm going to go Oxford in a close one.
Pete.
This is a real toss-up game, I think, guys. But I'm going to take Oxford. I think their front four is going to put pressure on Garrett McCracken. And Kenneth did not throw the ball well against Avongrove last week, only 69 passing yards. It was a little surprising because, McCracken's been having a great year so far. I think Oxford is poised to win this. I think the emotion's on their side, and I like the Hornets.
Nate.
Two teams that kind of love being in those one-score, low-scoring games. That makes it really, really tough, I think, to pick this one. Both teams, have made some really big plays. I think Kenneth beat Unionville on an 80-yard touchdown a couple weeks ago. Oxford's been hitting some long touchdown passes lately with Neske. He's got 8 touchdowns the last 5 games. They're starting to come into their own. I think it's going to be another one-score game, and I think Oxford's 4-1 in the one-score games this year. So I guess we'll go with the Hornets.
Coach Milano likes Kenneth. I don't know. I didn't get to talk to him. I'm sure Kenneth being home might play a factor in the game. And I also did anybody have the score of the game last year with Kenneth Avongrove? I know it was a tight one. I believe Kenneth beat them.
Kenneth did win, yeah.
Okay. This is a tough one for me. I know in the beginning of the year, I picked Kenneth to win the Southern Division, and the rest of you guys didn't. So is it, I'm going into this game if Kenneth were to win, but I guess because of there's not as many teams, they don't even get a share of it, which I think would be disappointing to me. And, I hate to go against my own picks.
Sounds like you
sound tortured, Coach.
Sound like
Come
you're going
on.
to pick Oxford.
I'm going to take Mike Means Hornets. Yes. I probably should have not taken them. I know I took them the last time they were the game of the week and at home, and I went and feel like Nate started it, he black catted it, and then I double teamed it. So, but I am going to take Oxford. I really feel like, it's their time. You know what I mean? So I think they'll be able to pull this game out. Nate had a very good point about the 4-1, the close games, and they'll hopefully for Mike Means and the Hornets, they'll be able to do it again. But in saying that, hey, it's one of our games of the week. Don't be surprised if it comes down to the last play of the game, right?
25-21 was last year, too. 25-21 Kenneth last year, so should be another one just like that, I would think, one way or the other.
Hopefully. Be great to see a game like that. Like I said, we'll be covering it on X. We head to Kottmeyer, and this year, Downingtown West, the Whippets will be the home team. I don't know exactly what that means. I feel like in the beginning of the year, Nate, didn't you give us a story that
the visiting team has won the last 6 matchups in the Battle of the Brandywine, including the playoffs. So the Vegas odds are on East this week, I guess.
All right, so I'll start with Coach Milano. Coach Milano must have seen that trend because he doesn't like to be wrong, and he definitely wants to win the pick'em. So surprisingly, he went again. No, Coach Milano will take the Whippets to win. Nate, what do you got? I know you got a lot of stats for this one.
Yeah, it's always fun. I think the most fun game of the year. The crowd is always wild. Got to get there early. Like I said, the visiting team is a weird little trend. At the East or the Coatesville Downingtown West game last week, the first thing that Downingtown West talked about afterwards in the huddle was not about Coatesville, it was about Downingtown East. It was about this game, how much it means. I know those East guys are hungry. They've lost the last 2 against West. I mean, this is the ultimate coin toss game. Obviously, Robinson with 1,600 yards, Cannon with 800 yards. I like the way Robinson runs. I think they're going to be a very physical team, hard to stop. I think I'm gonna go with West though. I just think the passing game gives them a little bit extra oomph. And where Downingtown East, hasn't had that lately. I think that's just the tiebreaker of two really, really good defenses. But, flip a coin on this one because I think it's going to be a classic.
Pete?
Yeah, another tough game to pick. I guess that's what we want this time of the year. I'm going to go with Downingtown West. I think they're more varied on offense than the Cougars. Even though Charon Robinson is a home run hitter, saw him go 84 yards against Shanahan last week. I just think Bricker really looked good against Coatesville. Maybe he's over the interception bug that bit him a little earlier in the season. I think West is going to pull out a close one.
Yeah, I loved our interview session earlier with Morin from Downingtown East and then Bricker and Sinkus from Downingtown West. You can see the passion that they have for the game and the two schools and the rivalry. As Coach Milano likes to say, we're going to take Ruston until somebody proves they can beat them. I'm going to take the defending District 1 champs, Downingtown West. I just feel like they're just maybe a little bit tougher on the defensive side of the ball. I know in talking to some people around that I believe there were some injuries that happened on the game between Downingtown East and Shanahan on Friday night. Not sure, the status of those individuals, but we do know there's some injuries that may, really play a part in this one. Again, it's a game of the week, so I don't expect this one to get out of hand or anything like that. It's because it never does. Right. It's going to be coming down the wire. Maybe it's the last possession. Maybe it's an interception by Downingtown West. Nate, one more thing. Do you have the plus minus ratios on both of these teams?
For turnovers?
Yeah.
Downingtown East they're actually -1. Downingtown West is +6.
So that could easily come into play. Another reason why I will take Downingtown West here. Special teams. Another reason why I think I'll take Downingtown West as well. But both teams, obviously, I think are ready to, move on and be able to make a good playoff run. We will end the show or the prediction segment with Coach Wolf from Downingtown East because I know where this is going here.
Well, before I, make a prediction, it's just this game has really turned into a celebration of high school football, and it's everything that's right about football. The kids on both these teams grew up together. They played Marsh Creek or Little Whippets together. They know each other. They all went to the 6th grade center together. They
great teachers there, by the way.
Great teachers. They play other sports together, and it's just a whole celebration of the Downingtown community. It's if you never had a chance to go to this game, you do yourself a favor. If you're just a fan of high school sports, go to this game. It's something to behold. That being said, the home team has had trouble. The visiting side, for whatever reason, that visitor locker room has some magic in it. I love the way both teams run their offenses, and they're both going to play solid defense. EJ, you hit it on early. Special teams may make the difference here. 1 or 2 plays on a kickoff. If somebody doesn't execute the punt game, that could be a turning point. The way they use their personnel. I like what West is doing lately, putting Sinkus in that wildcat and short yardage. Downingtown East is going to have an answer for that. Downingtown East is also going to have to have a big game from their junior quarterback, Ethan Ellis. I think if he can play well in the play action and bootleg game and complete the throws he needs to complete, I think they're going to take it. And as a Cougar, I'll take the Cougars.
Well, that brings us to the end, not only of our prediction segment, but also of our year 2 shows. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. I'd like to thank my co-host. Been doing an awesome job. You guys have really gotten a lot out of the insight and the stats and everything these guys have given us. So I'd like to say kudos to them. And we look forward to bringing you year 3 next year. We are definitely in planning for that as well. And do yourselves a favor, get out and watch some great games on Friday night. We got some 2 games of the week coming at you that we will cover on X. Nate, I know, where are you headed?
I'll be at Downingtown.
Okay, so you can follow Nate as well. Pete, where are you headed?
Ruston.
That's where I figured, at the Westchester. So we'll have all that action for you, and we'll try and do what we can. We'll probably pick a game during the weeks of the playoffs as well and cover that, but I'll let you know on X. So thanks again for joining us. Thank you for all your love and support during the season, and stay tuned. We'll see you.